feel around and just go, in broken English, tell me that he thinks I have cancer. You're just like, hang on, wait.
As the story ends up,
Yeah.
the next day you were feeling a bit ill.
I was feeling it. The story gets dark. And
Yeah,
very
it gets
real,
really
very-
dark. So you were
very-
feeling a bit sick, and you didn't come in and you said, "Kyle, I just want to go get checked out. I'm feeling a bit crook." I'm like, "No worries. We had a late day." I went in, and then I get a phone call from you to come and meet you at the hotel. Because I'm like, oh, okay, he's probably been to one of the medical centres, going to let us know what's going on.
really ill.
Really ill.
Really ill.
Yeah, like he had a sore throat, and we thought he had a cold because there's a lot of water, a lot of bacteria. We're thinking, what's...
Well, we were in... I was there. You were there for a lot longer, but I was in Thailand for a month with you, and we worked 7 days a week, and we worked hard. There were long days. We'd work in the night. The air pollution over there, it was kind of like... It was, I thought my throat was going. I was talking nonstop, producing, doing what I do, and by the end I'm talking like this. So I was kind of starting to get like, I really need some throat lozenges because this pollution is killing me. And we went out to Noodle Alley the night before, which meant, we were yelling and screaming and having a good time. So my voice was a bit off colour.
A lot of yelling, a lot of drinking. We're like, okay, Steve's caught a cold or he's caught something. And I remember getting in and going into his hotel room, and he looked kind of pale. Like, I knew he wasn't well, but he looked pale, like he'd been feeling sick. And I said, what's going on, mate? What did the doctor have to say? And I can remember it vividly. Like, I can see the room and I can see your face telling me, no, mate, it's actually really bad. They think I've got cancer. And it was...
Yeah.
It was a horrific moment.
Yeah.
From my point of view as it stood, but I can't even imagine what was going through your fucking head.
It was definitely one of the strangest times in my life to be there and just be going through such a wacky experience, and then to have that where you go to the hospital and
for a lozenge,
like for a sore throat, or just, I've got something caught in my throat, or something's wrong, or I should stop speaking for a while. And then for the doctor in kind of broken English to kind of feel around. He was a good doctor because he obviously knew what he was doing. To feel around and just go, in broken English, tell me that he thinks I have cancer. You're just like, hang on, wait. No, you're wrong. Yeah, like and then it just kind of it went on. I did have cancer, and then obviously you guys know the rest from there. But it was definitely...
People listening don't though, so give them the version. Like,
Well,
people have come this far down Noodle Alley with you.
Yeah.
They want to hear how you got cancer from Noodle Alley.
I checked with the doctor and I didn't catch it from any of the liquids that was sprayed into my mouth.
Wasn't your body reacting in a way saying, I no longer want to live after my Noodle Alley experience? You're fucking going down.
I felt good in Noodle Alley.
Yeah, like Noodle Alley was a little bit too much for my system. I admit that. But I don't think...
Your body just shut up shop.
My body just went after Noodle Alley, But there was a lot of joy in Noodle Alley. There was a lot of joy and happiness in Noodle Alley. I appreciate those guys for having a
go.
They were having a go. They were having a great Saturday night. Like, I don't blame them. Like, they were having a great Saturday night. I just don't want to buy noodles from down that alley where the wild homosexual orgies happening. So anyway, back to having cancer.
You don't hear that as a segue very often, do you? Yeah, so anyway, back to my cancer.
Yeah. So I had cancer. You guys know the story. I had cancer. I had treatment for 6 or 7 months. It was full on, a lot of chemo. Come out the other side, and then kind of game on as usual.
And it was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma or Hodgkin's lymphoma?
Non-Hodgkin's. I should know that.
Yeah.
Like I should, but. And this is going to sound strange, the actually going through chemo and going through that, though it was an interesting life experience, it doesn't define my life or shape my life. And I know a lot of people, when they get cancer or do something like that, they're like, did your perspective on life change? Or like, how did that change your world? And they have this thing like my world's changed from that point. But I feel very fortunate that for a long time I've been doing everything that I've wanted to do. I've been traveling, I've been working, doing this stuff. So in the scheme of my life, that isn't a sliding door moment. That isn't anything critical that changed my life. Sure, it was an interesting, and I look at it from, this is my documentary directing hat on, it was an interesting experience to live, but it was very similar to going through a show. It was just under a year. and it was intense, and I had to go to the hospital, and I had to meet all these different people that I hope I never have to see again under those circumstances. But it wasn't a hugely life-changing moment where my world changed and I stopped and I changed direction at what I was doing. And I look at that as a reaffirming thing to say, I'm doing all right in my life. Like, I'm doing all right because I'm doing something that makes me happy. A lot of people get to that point, from what I'm told, is they get to that point and go, fuck, I need to change everything that I'm doing.
Maybe it was that life affirming thing. You just didn't need to change anything.
Yeah, well, that is true. As like it was in a certain way. Like it goes, hang on, I don't have a lot of regrets. Like, if I don't make it and I drop dead, geez, I've had a good run, and that's pretty cool. To think that was pretty cool. Sure, I didn't want to die, and I didn't want to be going through chemo anymore, and that was shit. But it was still, not as big a deal as I thought it would be. And I'm sure it is to some people, and I don't want to take away from them and go, it's not a big deal, because the type of cancer that I had is probably, if you want a type of cancer, if you have to have a type of cancer, that's the best you can get. Like, it's not liver, it's not in your bones, not in the blood.
In your guts.
Yeah, it's not in some, like, it's in my lymph nodes that they can do shit about, and they caught it early. So, it's I was very fortunate to have been fixed up pretty quick.
It's interesting though, because I agree with a lot of what you said, but you have changed, man. You might not know that or be able to see that, but no, you have, and not in a big.
Don't you hate it when your friends say you've changed?
You've changed.
Here we go.
But not in a big U-turn thing. It's actually just, I think, your general approach to life, your general state of being. I actually think you're a lot more relaxed and confident within yourself. Actually, I think there is I think it reaffirmed things in your life that you were doing that you want to do more of, and that has shifted your focus, and it's changed. I don't know, man.
But did that happen overnight in that period, or has that happened? Because I also think that comes with age. I think that comes with a little bit of time and experience, and I can say that kind of about you too, and all of you guys, that we kind of, we've known each other since we were so young, that you kind of get out of your 20s and into your 30s, and you're a bit more sure of yourself, and you're a bit more mature, and you go through life experience. And I'm not saying that life experience didn't add to the equation that makes me today, because it certainly did. But I think in a certain way, we all go through that at a certain age.
I hear you, and I would say that it did. I reckon it accelerated in you more than it accelerated in me, honestly. Yep. And it's hard to put a thing on exactly what the moment was, but just to, we talk on the phone a fair bit if we're not in the same city or whatever it is, and you could hear it in your voice, man. You did, and it was, again, it wasn't this big U-turn midlife crisis type scenario.
Epiphany.
No, it wasn't like that. It was just, I think a lot of it was a confidence and a drive to live the kind of life you want to live, and that just happened to be basically what you were doing. You were just you were a lot more aware of it and a lot more driven to achieve it.
Oh, well, thank you, mate.
Not a compliment. You're an asshole.
Yeah. But oh, well, that's heroin addicts and cancer, hey?
Yeah. What's next?